And it just kind of hit me that this is like our last intro. You know what I mean? That's kind of surreal.
Dogs.
Yep.
Coming up on today's show, I played 7 hours of Dragon Age of Veilguard, apparently reflew a jet, and this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is our last regular episode. What's good, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday, except for next Friday is the last one. I am one of your hosts, Brittany Brombacher, joined by the gorgeous, lovely, oh so bangable Andrea Renee.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Danny for sure.
Oh, well,
It'd be a little awkward, though, because his wife is here. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Hi, my lovely, bangable, redheaded wonder. And we got the gorgeous, stunning Riana Manuel-Peña.
Hello, hello.
And then we have Danny.
I thought I was gonna get a nice intro. You know, am I technically the last guest?
You
Not
are.
technically, no. Because we have a
regular
special
episode.
guest for the finale. But
Okay.
you are the most guested guest, the most guest,
The most
guest with, the
guestiest.
guest with the
Really?
most appearances.
Oh
Yeah.
snap! I hope I helped out.
Danny, everyone knows you. You're that guy that married Rihanna. You know, you're just that dude. But we love you. You've been an amazing friend of the show for so many years. And just
Always.
a personal friend as well. And glad to have you back because you also play Dragon Age the Veilguard. And, wow, we have a lot to talk about. But this is kind of surreal, friends. Also, full disclaimer, my dog got a UTI this morning, and I got 2.5 hours of sleep. So this is going to be a weird fucking episode, but that's why you're here. And that's why you've been here for 7 years. Am I right?
Exactly.
Right.
I did think it was interesting in last week's episode, in several of the comments on the YouTube video specifically, a lot of people were like, wait, the show's ending? And I'm like, does that mean you haven't been listening to the show for the last like 6 weeks? Because I feel like we've talked about it, right?
We talked about it a lot. Yeah, I
We
thought about that
definitely
was
have.
interesting. That video got a lot of traction.
Yeah, it sure did. I wonder if it's because people thought we were angry about the PS5 Pro's price, or if they're angry and they just were looking for someone to be angry with.
Probably
unclear.
just anger. Anger is probably the common denominator there. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it feels like that's what's
guess.
getting a lot of traction on the internet these days, which is one of the many reasons why our show is ending. A lot of people have also asked, did they say why the podcast is ending? And we sort of have, alluded to it, but we plan on diving deep into that answer in the finale episode next week.
So deep.
So
Very deep.
That's
so
what she
deep.
said.
That is what she said. And on that very appropriate note, huge thank you to our super producers, Faris Attieh, Punkdefied, Joshua Franklin. And this episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Shopify. But we will tell you more about that later, because the news this week, friends, is everyone in Dragon Age the Veilguard can hit it for free. That is the news. That is what we are talking about. And I'm assuming that is what we're doing right here, right now. Talking about
Well,
Dragon Age the Veilguard.
before we get to that, Brittany, which is obviously what Danny is going to be chatting with you about as well, there was some actual news that came out today, in fact, and it has to do with our gal Riana. Riana launched a channel. Congratulations, friend. Could you please tell us all about Riana MP?
Yeah, absolutely. So for folks who've been following me for a while know that I had this sort of naming convention for all my socials. Rihanna tweets now on Twitter /X, Rihanna Grams now on Instagram, Rihanna Twitches now, whatever. That got to be a lot to manage. And I initially thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I just simplified my name everywhere? But then I also thought, I have all of this like BTS footage I keep collecting from these experiences as a CEO, going to work conferences, and as a creator, going to different hands-on preview events and things like that. So I figured, let me just put it all in one place and all under one name and make it a little bit easier for everybody. So I am now at the Riana MP everywhere. That's still RIANA. And yeah, you can catch all of the stuff about Flight Simulator experience, which we'll be talking about later today. I'll be putting all of my footage from going to PAX West with What's Good Games for the last time, and the party that we had to say farewell along with our friends at Life is Strange, and so on and so forth. So you can follow me everywhere at TheRianAMP. And catch a little bit of what it's like to live this weird ass life.
Look at this cute little channel you got going on.
Hey,
Very
that's some 2 a.m. branding right there.
Hell
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Thanks. Shout out to Canva. I didn't have any time to get something done.
She was she slept late last night working on everything.
Yeah.
So,
You've been crushing it, Rian, on your TikTok stuff too. I really have liked the type of content you've been putting out over there. It's very fun. You're
Thank
very good
you.
at it.
Thanks.
Oh, let me
Andrea,
show
have you-
everyone what they should do,
Yeah.
though. So, just as a reminder, you want to come over to this little button here, the subscribe button. You want to hit
Oh,
just like that.
look at that.
Boom.
The special
That.
effect. The special effect.
Hey,
So-
that was
Ah,
pretty.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Subscribed.
pretty. We also have an exciting stream next week. That is Tuesday, September 24th. 4 to 5 is going to be a happy hour Q&A stream, but that's going to be open to absolutely everyone. So if you have questions for us, you can send those to whatsgoodgames.com/dearwgg, or you can hit us up with your questions in the chat. Send us an email, send us a courier pigeon. I don't really care. You do you, friends. And then from 5 to 7, we're going to just be doing, essentially from 4 to 7, we're streaming. That's all you need to know. Just show up, hang out. We'll have some drinks with very special guests. It's going to be a very, very fun, emotional time, I think. Emotional and fun.
Yes, it's going to be wonderful. We originally didn't know if we were going to do one final stream because we said that our opening night live watch along was kind of like our last one. But then, we were like, it doesn't feel right to not do one last live thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're recording the podcast first to try to keep it not sloppy. And then the stream will probably get sloppy. Just like full warning, it'll probably get sloppy.
I mean, what
We'll
do we
save
have
the
to
shots
lose?
and tears for later.
Sponsors? We already lost our sponsors, man.
Can I say one thing though
Yeah,
about
of
that?
Of
about
course.
your show? Because I know we're gonna be talking about Dragon Age and all those stuff.
Fuck
but
yeah, we are.
honestly, if it wasn't for what's good, I would have not met Reed. So I just
It's
want to
true.
say thank you so much because it was like life changing. Maybe that was the reason you girls created the show just for us to meet. I
We
mean,
were like, Danny, you need some friends in your life besides Paris. He just can't be the only one.
oh no,
Is Paris even a friend, though? I mean, really? He just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know.
Look, I did a recording for Gamer Tag, and I had to separate them two. So when you see the
Literally.
content or hear the content, you see one section is Paris, and then
Yep.
the other section is Brittany.
I don't know why you associate with such clowns, Danny, but you
Oh
do
my
you,
God.
friend.
Beefing.
Andrea, are we streaming on Twitch and YouTube?
We are streaming on both. That is correct.
There we go. So twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames, youtube.com/whatsgoodgames. Be there or be a square, bitches. It's going to be
Maybe
great.
you'll meet your future
And-
spouse.
Important note, we will be fundraising for our wonderful friends at Take This. If you follow them on social media, you may have seen that they are in danger of losing their team due to lack of donations this year. A lot of charities have been struggling over the last 2 years in the face of an economic downturn that's been happening, particularly here in the United States. Everyone I know that works at 501(c)(3)s, which is a tax classification for charities here in the United States, has said that they've been struggling with fundraising this year. And Take This has been such a huge part of What's Good Games' journey. They sponsored our show when we first launched. We've been a huge supporter of their work, and they're just generally really wonderful people doing important things in the name of mental health. And we want to help support them. So if you have $1 to give, if you have $5 or more to give, we'll have lots of information about that in the streams next week. If you are a patron or a Supercast subscriber who has already canceled and you are interested in maybe using your next month's fees that you would have paid towards donation, that's awesome too. Again, we'll have all of those details and where you can donate very soon. Or just go to their page, takethis.org, and donate now.
Yeah. Okay. Now we all know why we're here. We're not here to
boy.
talk about What's Good Games. We're not here to talk about anything else. We are here to talk about Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and this is really special for me. Also, thank you, EA, for flying my ass out and feeding me and showing me a lovely fucking time. Danny, same for you. This is crazy because this is the first time I've been able to preview or talk about Dragon Age in any real capacity since we launched the show. And I think it's just really fitting and kind of cool that this is going to be my final preview for the show is Dragon Age, which is obviously like one of my all-time favorite games. So A little bit of housekeeping on Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It takes place about 8 to 10 years, depending on when you count the DLC, the Trespasser, or if you count from the end of the actual game. So 8 to 10 years after Dragon Age: The Inquisition. It is coming out October 31st, which is next month. And it's coming out on PS5, Xbox, PC, Steam Deck. I know Reed's all excited about Steam Deck. It is a direct sequel to Dragon Age Inquisition. Solus is back to his usual antics. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. We're going to keep this very, very spoiler free. We also have some pretty strict instructions on what we can and cannot say. So we're going to do our very, very best to keep this absolutely as spoiler free as possible. We're going to be talking more about the gameplay, the things that we saw, things that we loved, that impressed us, that surprised us. I obviously am very familiar with Dragon Age. I love Origins 2, Inquisition, played them multiple times. Danny, what's your familiarity with Dragon Age?
I played Dragon Age in the past. I'm not as deep as you. I just played just to enjoy because I love RPG. I know the last game, it was open world. This one, not so much, but it still feels pretty good to play it. I think this is the game that's going to help out get a lot of new people get into the Dragon Age series, and also people that never played an RPG. I think we're going to get to see a lot of new people trying this game for the first time, I think. Do you agree, Brittany, or not?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I wanted to say too, is you do not have to have played any of the other Dragon Age games in order to enjoy this game. The team, very explicitly said that if you have played the other games, you're definitely going to get a lot of fun little bits and pieces and morsels of information that's probably going to make you squeal like a schoolgirl. My words, not theirs. The game does have a really in-depth codex, and for the first time that I've seen in Dragon Age, unless I completely forgot it, a glossary. So if you're, if someone in conversation is like, yo, blah, 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 the Veil, or da-da-da, the Elven Gods, and you're like, what does that mean? You can, at some point pause the game, and then it's in alphabetical order. You can look and see what the hell, because this game and the lore in Dragon Age, it goes very, very deep. Besides just the games, there's comics. There's a really great audio podcast out right now called Vows and Vengeance, I believe. There's tons of books. There's short stories. There's just so much, and everything that you can read and the lore you can gain from engaging in that other medium does add to the world of Dragon Age, and it's all canon. So there's a lot there. So I'm glad that they included the codex and the glossary. So, there's just so much to dive in. Again, we got about 7 hours, and everything that we played did take place throughout the first act. The way the demo set up is they kind of ushered us through different sections. So the first thing we got was the character creator, and then they would skip us ahead to another section and skip us ahead to another section. Some of them we can talk about. We have to be pretty vague with what we say, and obviously some of the other footage we couldn't even capture. So we'll just have to kind of be careful about that. But anyway, the character creator. Danny, did you spend a lot of time with this character creator? Because this is something when I asked the team, what's one of the things you're the most excited about with this game? And I think 3 out of 4 of the people on stage said the character creator.
You know what? This is crazy. I'm about to say this. Both Dragon Age and Flight Simulator, we're going to be talking about later on, has the best character creator I ever seen. I think it's that deep. Yeah, it's
wow,
really, really
the
good.
best. That's very high praise.
It's pretty up there, and Ree will talk more about that later. But from the Dragon Age side, yeah, it was pretty good. I took my time. I noticed there was people that were creating their character, and they were there for at least 30 to 40 minutes.
That was
just
me.
Taking their time. That was you. They were taking their time creating the character. For me, I was like, okay, where the ones with the ball head, and I couldn't really find. but no, overall, yeah, I took my time doing it. I spent less time than you, Britt. But after that, I also selected my class as a mage. I don't know which one was yours, Britt.
A warrior all day, every day.
Obviously,
man.
that's
Yeah,
she face tank or bust.
Face tank or bust. Yeah, the team had said that they had allotted about 30 minutes for character creator in this first section. So, me, I definitely spent all my time making my basic ass bitch blonde girl. But no, it was really, really good and really impressive. Obviously, we don't need to go through all of the options there, but I was definitely able to make her look pretty in the way I liked. I could have spent probably another hour doing that. But the thing that impressed me the most about once you create your character, and I'll go in more into the factions and stuff in a second though. And Danny, you probably didn't experience this because bald. When you put your character in the game, the way the hair was billowing and flowing, it was so impressive. And then I saw there was a bunch of discourse online from people talking about the hair, and some people thought it looked great. Did you all see that?
No.
It was
No.
okay. Good for you.
Also,
for you.
like, video
But I
game
had
hair
beard.
is always going to look weird. I mean, it's just the way it is. Animating hair
that's-
is really difficult.
But that's the thing, it looked really good. I thought it looked beautiful, but then people are dumb and stupid. Anyway, it was a little like viral moment with the Dragon Age hair. It looked phenomenal. And my Rook looked so good too. Her facial expressions always looked good. They were like what I would expect. She never looked possessed or like she had too much Botox or filler or something in her face. So 10 out of 10 improvement already on that alone. But as you're creating your character, you're also going to have the option, like Danny was saying earlier, you're going to pick your lineage. That's human, elf, Kunari, or dwarf. Obviously, each one of those have a very significant lore implication depending on who you pick. Your gameplay style and the way the world treats you is going to be a little bit different. And then you have your class, which is warrior, rogue, and mage. I played warrior the whole time. Danny, did you play mage the whole time?
Mage
remember.
the whole time.
Okay,
Mage
the whole time. Okay,
'Cause
cool.
I typically
We'll talk about that.
I will pick as warrior, but I was like, let me try something different, and I really enjoy
good for
playing
you.
mage. Yeah.
Wow, impressive. I wish I had that kind of willpower. And then the other thing we get to pick were your factions. And this is something that I'm incredibly excited about because for the first time, we're going to actually be able to interact with characters from these particular factions. And these are factions that we only ever got to read about. So I'm talking about the Shadow Dragons, the Mournwatch, the Lords of Fortune. Anyway, again, like real nerdy lore shit. Danny, you picked...
Shadow
Which
Dragon.
one? Shadow Dragons. Okay.
I'm for the people. I'm all about the people.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. That was a really interesting faction.
Honestly, that's the only reason why I picked them. I'm like, hey, I'm all about the people.
Now,
Like,
if I'm correct, those people work into Vinter and they try to liberate slaves, right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
their thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I, of course, did the Grey Warden because of my Dragon Age Origins throwback. I want to kill the Archdemon and like sacrifice myself while doing it. Isn't that neat? But anyway, so yeah, like you'll pick your faction and you'll get a little bit of a backstory. And every one of these backstories, you're going to find out there's a reason why you have kind of been forced to separate yourself from your faction. And that plays into the lore and the narrative. And I'm assuming why Varric has recruited you. There's 6 options for difficulty, which I thought that was really great. I played on the normal difficulty. Danny, I'm assuming you did too. And
I have to say something about that. So the last difficulty I think is Nightmare.
Mhm.
So here's the thing: when you play the game, you could change the difficulty if you want. Make it easier, harder. But once you play from the start, Nightmare, you're stuck with Nightmare. You can't change it at all. Yeah,
those are the badasses.
I talked to the developer about that, and they were like, "Yeah, that's you stuck if you play it." But it's more of like a challenge, if you want to make the game more difficult for you, So.
Yeah. So the difficulty options were great because I played on normal difficulty, and we'll talk about the combat later. It was just good enough. It was perfect. It wasn't too difficult. I never died. Actually, no, I did die at one part in the game, but got the blood pumping. It was wonderful. Obviously, you customize your character, and then you have some other options which we cannot talk about that have something to do with the keep. Obviously, Bioware has mentioned the keep before, so this isn't something new, but we cannot talk about the specific things that you can do within the keep. So we'll just pin that and then just move on. So Danny, I guess like what I'd like to hear about from you is what stood out to you from this demo? Like what was the thing that impressed you the most?
Yeah, besides the character creation, I think what stood out to me the most is also the surrounding, like the world. A lot of things that was happening in the background. I was telling Paris, it reminded me the first time seeing Halo 2, like the demo, that you get to see like explosions and all this stuff in the back. And this is like the early Xbox days, right? It reminded me of that plus next gen, that part was really good. And also my companions, I love battling out with enemies and also the boss battles. I really, really enjoyed. There was a couple boss battles in the demo, Britt, that I was stuck. I'm like, oh man, this is getting a little tough because we started first level 1 and then we came back. It was like level 15. And I think when we ended, it was like either level 30 something, I think it was, Britt.
We got a beefy character.
Yeah, it was very beefy, but I noticed every time we go back to the demo, we had like a lot of new abilities, like a lot of new things. And this is the first act.
This is all the first act. Yes,
So
that's again another point to drive home. Like everything we saw.
I vividly remember from Inquisition the coverage when it first came out about everyone's saying you're gonna feel like the Hinterlands is just the game, but in reality, it's just the opening area of the game that you can accidentally spend like 30 or 40 hours in. So don't do that. Like, keep going because some of the game will obviously be blocked behind main story progression. So,
and that's a great thing to bring up because going back to what Danny said about the location. So this is not an open world game, right? And so what you have instead are these pretty like are we calling them sandbox? What are we calling them? These
I call it, like,
Instances. They're instances.
instances.
Yeah, I see
Great.
it also like you're like in sections, but it's like it still feels open. You know, there's still a lot of like side quests. Because I remember when we were playing, there was a lot of side quests that we just passed through because I was just focused on the campaign. You know, but it was an option. You could they told us, look, if you want, you could do the side quests if you want, but if not, you're not gonna have time to finish them. Like, all right, you know, I'm gonna focus.
No,
on the
absolutely. So yeah, some of the locations we got to go to, again, locations we've only really ever read about. You have the Arlethan Forest, which is, you know, this ancient elven area. You have Treviso, which is this port city in Antiva. You have Weishaupt Fortress, which is the headquarters of the Grey Wardens. Minrathous, like all of these beautiful areas. And going back to what you're saying, Danny, like how beautiful the areas looked and how fun they were to be in. For me, it was almost I was almost shell shocked. I had the controller in my hand. I'm like, am I really walking through here right now? And I was, and I got to listen to people's conversations and eavesdrop, and there were different vendors and codex entries, and it's expanding on the lore that I've come to know and love so much, and it's very exciting for that reason alone, and being able to see these historical places that, again, like since Dragon Age Origins, we've only ever heard about. Now we're actually in there. So that was just a really big, exciting moment. And also, when you're in places like the forest, for example, it does not feel, again, like you're in this linear area, right? There's waterfalls, there's creeks, there's logs to cross over. There's always something to kind of look at. And I found in my gameplay demo that exploration was often rewarded. So maybe you would find gold or better gear or a codex entry, or maybe like a hidden puzzle or a different like boss or enemy encounter or something. So I'm really thrilled with that because I personally did not want another hinterland situation. That was an overcorrection on their end from what happened with Dragon Age 2, and they went a little too above and beyond, and I'm kind of glad they've reined it back in with the Veilguard, and it's something that feels much more accessible, and I have a feeling we're going to be returning to these locations many times over and over again, and they're probably going to be changing and shifting as the game progresses.
Yeah.
So
I have to say that going to the event, I felt like BioWare, they feel very confident. EA feels very confident about the game too, because we were there for so long. I was like, I've never been to an event to have hands on for that long. 'Cause usually it's like you play for a couple hours and then you do your interviews.
And
you
I
move
should
on.
say, I should have started off with it. The game's fucking incredible. Like I should have just like
plays
let it
good.
with that. This is
I think
dude,
we assumed that you liked it because otherwise we would have heard about it maybe earlier. And I do
Yeah, I
have
would've been
some
crying.
of Danny's gameplay here that I can put up as
Okay.
well while you guys are chatting.
Yeah, so this is exciting. So this is, again, one of those locations. This is Weishaupt Fortress. This is the headquarters of the Grey Wardens. And this was, for me, Danny, I think when all the combat experience we had gained throughout the entire demo really clicked in. And I was
Yes.
I felt like a badass. I felt like an unstoppable beast. So with the warrior, I won't go too much in the weeds with this, but essentially you gain rage by attacking enemies, and you need rage to use abilities. So the UI is kind of complicated to describe, but on the bottom you have a bunch of quick slots. You have 4 for you. You have 3 for each of your companions, and you can use those real time as you would like. As as the skills cool down and you gain enough rage, go ahead, go on with your bad self. But if things get a little too intense, you can bring up the command wheel. What are they actually calling it? It has a name. They're calling it.
Yeah, so I don't know the name of, but I know there was 2 options where I could bring up that option, or like the whole screen for my controls for my character and also for my companions. But I know there is another way where it's like a quicker way, but I just found that out at the end of the demo that you could actually do it without bringing that wheel up.
Oh, Danny, no, really?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh.
I had no idea. I just found this out like towards the end of the demo.
Oh, sweet summer child. No. Yes,
Yeah,
you
'cause
hold. I think it's LT or it's LB. It's one of the buttons at the top that you can hold, and then that
Yeah.
allows you to access those quick buttons.
You have options. That's a good thing. You have options.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable, go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
command wheel, that's just what I'm going to call it. I love pulling that up too, especially if you're in an intense situation, because that's when you can really kind of at a glance look at see what's going on, because it pauses the entire battle. And your party members, and this is really fun too, depending on who you have, they have different combos, right? So, for example, my favorite 2 party members to bring with me were Davrin and Harding. Davrin's the Grey Warden warrior. Harding is the archer. Rogue, and I love her, but she and him had this really cool beefy combo attack that would stun enemies and create a lot of stagger. And so that was really helpful, especially as those fights got a little hairy there towards the end of that area that we're looking at on YouTube. But that was really great. Anyway, yeah, like I loved the combat so much. It was so visceral and engaging, and the things I could do as a warrior, I could throw my shield and it would come back to me. I could jump off ledges and stab shit from above. I could kick dudes off ledges. Like it was so good and so heart-pounding, and I loved it. It's some of my favorite warrior gameplay. I've heard also, Danny, really good things about Mage. I heard Mage was really fun.
Yeah, I like to fight close combat, but yeah, I really got comfortable playing mage after a while. And here's the thing, and I forgot to mention this. You know, I created my character, took my time, but then they already have like save files, so they had to like change it for like different sections. My character got erased. I'm like, no. So every time I come back, I had a totally different character. But it was still mage. It was still mage. But yeah, it was pretty cool fighting from you know, a little bit far away from the enemies. There's one ability where you could suck all the enemies into like one section, and from there I could also do it like an attack. That was a very helpful ability for me to like continue the game, because there was some parts I was like stuck playing like some against some bosses and stuff. Yeah, because it was like it could get really chaotic in there, man. In the game, I don't know if you got stuck a couple times, Britt, with using your your class.
Goddamn professional, Danny.
Oh,
I was fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay, well, I got stuck a couple times.
No, there were. I did have, and this is okay. Another, thank you for saying that. So here's the kind of the catch: is you can't control your party members. You can issue them commands like use this skill, use that combo, but you can't control them in the way that you could in other games. And so what happens is, I mean, I don't know honestly how helpful they are. Obviously they have combos and whatnot, but they just kind of have infinite health, and they just kind of like run around and do stuff and whatever. They live their best life. There was, and this is where I did get stuck. I went off and did a side mission, and I had to fight a very, very difficult boss. And there's no way I was getting out of the encounter alive.
Was that the forest? Was that the forest?
No, this was when we returned to another city another time.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah. And it was brutal. I was gonna die. I was gonna become worm fodder. So I had like raise my hand, and someone had to get me out of there, get me to the next section. Anyway, the point being, I mean, I was stubborn. I was on it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I need to stop. The health bar has not gone down. But what I did, and this is, you know, kind of how I cheese it, is I just ran around like a mad woman in circles while my party members just kind of drew aggro on the boss. And then I would just wait for my specials to refill and get my abilities to recharge. And then I would go use my ability, and then I would run away like a little bitch. And I would just do that for like 20 minutes. So, I mean, I guess that is one thing you can do, is you can cheese. You can cheese that way with your poor party members. They are your sacrificial lambs. But it was fine. I mean, I didn't mind not controlling them, because as we saw, the combat is so intense and so hectic and so hands-on. I cannot imagine trying to control another party member fully while you're trying to manage your own shit.
Well, what they had in Inquisition was that more tactical mode, that kind of God mode, where you could kind of zoom everything back a little bit. So you're saying that that's not even an option here either?
No, you can't zoom out and do that kind of tactical stuff. All you can do is pull up your little combat wheel, whatnot, and then you can issue commands to your companions when they can, or tell them what combos to do, tell them which enemies to attack. But that's the evolution of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually okay with that, because
Same.
as much as I loved the idea of being able to switch between party members in a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I didn't do it that often unless one of my, you know, characters got downed or I needed a specific ability. But I would actually prefer to not have that many things to manage. And I'm sure that there's going to be people who are not happy about that, but sometimes you got to make sacrifices.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, and there are. That discourse has already happened. Yeah,
Honestly,
I agree.
especially if you want to bring a new audience that are going to try out Dragon Age for the first time. I think this was the right move, because like that, Andrea, I think that will complicate things and people will get overwhelmed. Like this will be like too much. And I just love that you don't have to control your companions. You know, you could give them like powers and all that stuff. But yeah, I think the AI was great. Like it wasn't like sometimes you have like some companions who just stay there and stuck. I didn't get that vibe at all playing this game.
I didn't either. And also, you know, when you're playing these demos, you kind of feel compelled to just get good enough to where you can just play it. I'm sure, you know, if I were to stop and really look at that ability wheel, there might be even other things that I missed that you can do. But yeah, I mean, I was able to get by just fine doing what I was doing. It was just kicking ass and taking names, friends. I love the combat. 10 out of 10. I think this is probably its biggest improvement.
I saw in the combat video from the Dragon Age YouTube that I was playing that there's primers and detonators, which is a hallmark of BioWare combat that we've seen in the Mass Effect series and, of course, in Dragon Age before. How was it playing with those? Because that was one of my favorite parts about playing with my teammates in Mass Effect combat.
It was cool. Yeah, there would become, and I don't even know how I did them, if I'm being totally honest, but all I knew
there will
is
be a community spreadsheet upon launch of the game, I'm sure, that has all of the primers and all of the detonators on how they work together.
It was the first couple of times I didn't know what the fuck my party members were on. I thought they were tripping balls or something because they were like, okay, I got him. It's up to you. And I'm just running around still trying to figure out my
because that means that they've primed them for you, right?
Yeah. And then once I figured it out, you know, the enemies are briefly stunned. And then you can walk over to them, push a button, and do a really cool, amazing detonator move. And then obviously, like, amazing damage is dealt. But yeah, like, I don't know how I did it necessarily, but I did it. And I did it a few times. And it was very exciting when I did.
Britt, I was going to ask you what your thoughts about the dialogue. I think it was pretty good.
Oh, what kind of dialogue, Danny? I mean,
no,
God,
just like the interaction between the companions and your character. Just when it gets chaotic, like
you're Oh, you mean in combat?
In combat, yeah, combat or combat. Or
I was like, this is gonna go somewhere, and I'm not sure if I'm prepared for where this is gonna go.
You're never prepared with me, baby.
Oh yeah, the bedroom. Yes.
In the bedroom. Okay, Loved the combat. I loved the banter. It never bothered me. It was fine. Like, I didn't even think about the dialogue during the combat. You know, sometimes there'll be mentions of like, oh no, she's invulnerable, and it doesn't feel overdone or over repeated. It's not like in, you know, JRPGs where you get someone saying like, ooh, critical hit over and over again, and you want to pull your hair out. I never got that. But the other dialogue, and this is something I just loved so much, and I hope we see more of it, is there's just banter. There's a lot more banter, I feel like, this time around, and it's one of the staples of BioWare games and Dragon Age games too as well, obviously, where you'll just be walking around and you'll see something, maybe a broken wagon on the ground, but depending on who you have with you, there's going to be banter between them. And it's always fun to bring party members along who maybe don't get along so well, or maybe have some interesting chemistry and kind of watch them bicker or talk about something. So I thought that made me really happy to see that there was a lot of that banter because it never really felt empty or quiet. Loved that so much. I mean, again, like, we just talk about the fucking companions. I love the companions. Obviously, Rook is not saving this world on their own. You have a whole bunch of gaggle of different characters with you. You have Kunari, you have elves, you have dwarves, you have everybody. Everyone wants to be your friend and help you save the Veil, because you are the Veilguard. So what's interesting about the companions is, as with the Inquisition and Origins and everywhere, you have an HQ. And this time the HQ is called the Lighthouse. And this is a mysterious and powerful place, and it's very, very integral to the Veilguard and your mission. And this is where you're going to go between missions or between objectives, or if you just need to like do something there, because there's a bunch of stuff you can do while you're there. Again, trying to keep this very vague. You're going to find your companions in their quarters, and as you play the game progresses, you're going to see them decorate their quarters more. The entire lighthouse is going to become more decorated. You're going to see companions having one-on-one conversations. You're going to be able to eavesdrop on them. You're going to be able to actually like initiate side missions by talking to your companions. So there's just a lot that you can do with them this time around, and this is really fun. If you don't romance a certain companion or whatever, they're gonna romance themselves. Like, I mean, not like whack their pack. I mean, they're gonna like literally like one of them's gonna seek out another one. I don't know what the pairing is, but yeah, you're gonna see your companions hook up. Kind of reminds me of Dorian and Iron Bull in Inquisition. But that's just, you know, that's so cool, and I love that. So it's kind of like, oh, there's some competition here. Huh? Don't you try to touch my man. I'm going to kick your ass, people. I did ask you if you can sabotage other character relationships in the game, because I'm very curious about that. So let's say, like, Balara is, you know, romancing Davrin, and I want Davrin. Can I, like, split them up? And the answer I got was, you know, sometimes people will come to you for advice, but you don't always have to give them the best advice. I said, okay. So I can be messy. I can be messy. Yeah, I want to be messy. Anyway, so I
Love Island and Dragon Age.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, but that's what people want from a BioWare game, right? That I think people feel like that's what the studio is known for, and we didn't really get that in Anthem, right? So I'm trying to
really good
think
anthem.
of, you know, the last real example that we got, and I guess it would be Inquisition, but you couldn't really manipulate.
Andromeda? I can't remember what
It's
happened
been
in that game.
yeah, it's been so long. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
Brett, I was gonna ask you, like, I know when you have conversation with people, depending on what you select, you notice too, like your companion will say approve this
Oh,
or
God.
disapprove this.
Literally
Was
so
that
stressful.
was that a lot happening for you? Like your companion to disapprove with like certain things that you were like saying or answering back?
Yeah, and I mean that's the beauty, right? Haha, beauty is not everyone is going to agree with everything, right? Every character has their own goals and motivations and probably their own secret reasons for being involved in what you're doing. And so there's no decision you can make that's going to please everybody. So an example of this is we were at Weishaupt Fortress and you have the first warden and you're talking to him and there's one of two decisions you can make. You can either do things nicely or you can do things physically. And depending on which you get, you're going to get a lot of greatly disapproves or greatly approves. And I mean, and that's just kind of par for the course, right? I guess where I would be more interested in is what can you do to alleviate those disapproves? Or are you, and I feel like it's never been like this. I can't imagine there's just no way everyone's going to love you because I want to play in a way that everyone's going to love me. So I'm imagining there's probably some side stuff you can do, or maybe in the last prior games we've seen that you can give companions gifts to raise their affection towards you because, you know, it's just like real life. Give a person a box of chocolates and they love you. So yeah, so I mean, that's just part of it, right? And that's the thing that I'm really excited about is seeing the choice and the consequence. And how is that really going to play out? Obviously, you know, there's a lot writing on this. We've seen what happened with Mass Effect when it came to choice and consequence and what the ultimate resolution was for some of those decisions. Obviously, people weren't very, very happy with that. We did get to see a few pretty impressive options or situations where choice and consequence played out. So the one thing we've all seen is in the beginning of the game where Varric is trying to talk to Solus, right? And there comes a point where you can either bring Harding or Nev with you. Depending on who you bring with you, that person's face is probably ultimately going to end up bruised, beaten, split, bloody for I don't know how long. But imagine my surprise when I went to go and talk to Nev because I brought her along with me and her face is all fucking beat to shit. And I'm like, what happened to you? And I'm like, oh, I brought you with me. And because of that, you are in pain. You look like you just got run over by a truck. And in future cutscenes, you know, she was wincing in pain and she wasn't, you know, she wasn't up to snuff to the point where I actually told her she needed to stay back on a mission. So that's just kind of a minor example of the choice and consequence. A major example, and we have to be very vague about this, is there was an option. There was a time, and this is something we couldn't capture, where you had to save one of two cities. Okay, there's two major cities, and you can only save one of them because of a certain attack that's going on. And these cities are both closely tied with two different companions, right? So you can see where this is going. So it's like, okay, I have two options. Which one am I going to pick? And do I want to face the wrath of this other character? Because I know they're going to be freaking pissed at me. So I don't know, Danny, it was probably a little easier for you because I know you're not you don't know Dragon Age lore like the back of your hand. Like I do, big fucking nerd over here. But I sat at my demo station and I literally wrote down reasons, pros and cons to saving either city because both cities have such a fucking extensive lore and both of them, it was very stressful. And I'm still stressed out about it. And then after you choose your city or whatever city, you have the opportunity to go back and see the utter destruction of what happened because of your decision. And it's gonna be like that throughout your game.
Yep.
So like
This is what people came for. This is what people want. This is it. This is what they want. So it sounds
I
like
know.
they're firing on all cylinders with this one.
And the characters, I bet, wasn't happy about your decision too, right?
Oh no, and I feel bad. Like I'm such an empath. Like even in fucking video games, this is my biggest curse. So I'm like playing this and I'm just wincing. I can't even look. And yeah, I got scolded. But no, like you're right, Andrea. This is what people want, and this is just again like the first act. This isn't, I don't even think this was like towards the end of the first act. So it just goes to show you if this is what we're facing already, I don't even want to know what those decisions are going to get like towards the end. You know, I have a feeling they're going to just kill us.
Sounds like Bioware's back, baby.
I know. And that's kind of the vibe I got. And you know, this Bioware is in a very like tough decision. The Dragon Age team, right? It's been almost 10 years since Inquisition. The game has changed. The series has changed and evolved so much from Origins to 2 to Inquisition, and I feel like everyone who loves Dragon Age loves it because of different reasons, because it can mean so much to so many different people. So how do you appease that audience, right? How do you make a game that everyone's going to love? And like, spoilers, you don't. You know, there's going to be stuff that people, you know, miss from the original, like the tactical wheel or maybe the open world stuff. But I feel like, just from what I've played, they're keeping the best parts of Dragon Age in this game. What makes Dragon Age feel like Dragon Age is here, they're adding the right modern touches. I think the first one that comes to mind is the combat. I love the combat so much. Yeah, I'm very, very optimistic, and I'm very hopeful that this is the game that we've been wanting, and this is the game that we've been hoping for, despite all of the rumors we've heard over the years, the turbulent starts and stops and the hires and everything. Like, I want to be like, oh my God, did they actually pull it off? Obviously, 7 hours in a Dragon Age game, you're just scratching the surface. But from what I've seen, this could be it. This could be the game we've wanted. And it feels so
it's
good
goaty.
to say that.
It's goaty?
Oh boy.
I think it could be up there.
Oh, it
I
could,
think
absolutely.
It could be up there. It could be up
From
there.
what we've seen.
Contender.
Obviously,
what we've
this
seen.
is a preview, and
Yeah.
we have been burned in the past from previews, but it doesn't seem to me like all of those systems could be in place, and unless the game somehow is technically broken at launch, which we all hope is not the case, that that this isn't going to be in those discussions at the end of the year.
No, from talking to members of the team too, the game has been done for a while. So these final like months have just been polishing and bug squishing and everything, because they don't want what happened obviously last time.
Right.
I didn't come across any errors in my game.
Same.
So that bodes very well.
And also, Steam Deck verified. Hey, yo.
Look at that.
Let's go. Especially when, you know, we're busy with baby. Could just play Dragon Age on the side, you know?
Oh,
a little
God,
handheld.
I can't wait. And I want to fuck everyone in the game. It's so bad. I mean, like,
Damn.
what? Danny,
I already have mine picked out.
Oh, who is it?
The old dude.
Oh,
Emmerich,
Yeah.
necromancer.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he has his little skeleton friend. His name's Manfred. What's his name? It's something Wilfred. No, it's something really
Manfred?
fun. Manfred. I'll have to Google it. Anyway, you can play rock paper scissors with him, the skeleton friend, and I did for like 5 minutes, and I won, and it was great. But like little things, like little touches like that, where you have the serious and you have the silly. Again, it's that theme. And yeah, Andrew, go back to what you're saying. Totally could be goaty. You know, I want to play the whole thing first and make sure like something just doesn't go wrong. Not that I imagine it will, but like I'm going to be looking between Infinite Wealth and Dragon Age, and like, what is my life? You know, I don't know.
Dang.
It's a good life to live. Again, I am God's chosen this year. I just can't help it. It's just the way it is.
Embrace it. Well, thank you very much for the incredible deep dive. I am hype to play this game. I can't wait. I was secretly a little jealous that I didn't go to the preview event, but also secretly very glad that I get to play it all for the first time once the final build is out, because that's the one of, I guess, several challenges, but like, oh, what a problem to have. I got to play a game I'm excited about before it came out. I don't want this to sound like that kind of complaining, but it's challenging when you have to evaluate a game and then you have to play all of that narrative content again and try to, you know, see it with fresh eyes. It can be difficult. So double-edged sword, so to speak.
Yeah, and you get to just enjoy it. You just get to play it and enjoy it for what it is, and that's really cool too. Me, I have 12 fucking pages of notes. I have been, oh my God. But I love it. I love it, obviously. But I'm like, man, I'm glad that this is done, and now I can just look forward to playing the game.
Britt, my last question for you. Are you going to play this PC, consoles?
Console. Definitely
Console?
Definitely
Yeah.
console. Yeah. I mean, I love playing Dragon Age games on my PC. That's just actually like, I restarted my Origins run on PC a while ago. Anyway, I'm digressing. Yes, Danny, console. Console. So I can sit on my ass in my comfy ass chair with my comfy cozy blanket and just fester. I want to fester.
Yeah.
I want my epidermis to meld to the leather of my couch
Yeah. And I want to mention to everybody, we're playing the PC version.
with controllers.
With
Yeah.
controllers, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh my
standard.
God. and I can't talk about it, and I won't, but fuck the lore and some of the story shit that goes down.
And that seems like a great time to say we're going to take a quick break, everybody.
Get hyped. That's all I can say.
Come back, we're going to hear about Rihanna flying a jet? What? Question mark? Stick with us. We'll see you in a minute. This episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Shopify. When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Alo, Allbirds, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product and maybe you think about their viral marketing. But an often overlooked part of the secret sauce are the businesses behind the brands that make selling simple. For millions of companies, that secret sauce is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They are home of the #1 online checkout on the planet with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. That means way less carts being abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Because businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Kim K uses with Skims. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/whatsgood, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/whatsgood to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/whatsgood.
Welcome back to the What's Good Games podcast. This is where we talk about more cool things we've been playing because Rhea not only played something, she actually flew a freaking jet, which is like, how the hell? I'm very excited to hear that story. But before we do that, we have to give our final shout out to our Supercast friends. And I'm going to kick us off with Tribstian,
Wall of Bill,
Corinne Benzinger,
David Stretchon,
Burrito,
Trenton Pennington,
I like the pause at the end. That was good. Daniel Hull,
Nicole Humphrey,
James Bravo,
Maniacal Mouse,
Punkdefied,
Gregory Sugano,
Patrick, do your laundry,
Noel Navarez,
Omega Buster,
Dewey Reese,
Robert Freimering,
Steve French,
Gary Peck,
Justin Foshi,
Kelsey Burgess,
Joshua Franklin,
Gabriela F.L. Oliveira,
and Andrew Cotton. Sorry, Rhea, I just took you over.
Andrew Cotton, you get 2. Hey.
You get 2. I just absolutely took you over. I don't even know what happened. This is a sleep deprivation. Thank you all so much for supporting us on Supercast. I know you weren't over there for a very long period of time, but the fact that you took the effort and energy to make that leap and support us says so much, and it means a lot. And we will be singing your praises next week during our stream.
Absolutely.
Tuesday,
And
September
Brittany and I
24th.
recorded a little video for y'all, so please check your email or head on over to Supercast so you can check out that information about what is happening with Premium Feed membership. And of course, we will be going over all of that again in the finale episode next week. All right, but without further ado, Brittany, what's next?
I don't even know what's next. All I know is when we hopped on to record this episode, Danny was like, yo, Rhea flew a jet. And I'm like, haha, in a video game, right? Right? And I don't think that's the case. I think you actually flew a fucking jet.
Yeah, legit. This is, let's back it up a little bit.
Yes,
So
let's back it up a little bit.
So 1987, May 20. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was going to say, wow, we're backing it way up. Okay,
Back
okay.
that ass up. Let's go.
Just jokes. So Danny and I were given the amazing opportunity, sponsored by Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and the team at Xbox, to go visit the Grand Canyon and then also see Flight Simulator's version of the Grand Canyon. And then also, drumroll please, fly over it in real life.
That is
So,
wild.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about the experience first, then we can talk about the flight sim, because both are incredible, and I don't know which one was more exciting, honestly. And I never thought I'd be saying this about a simulator, but we had the opportunity to go into a Cirrus jet. This was the new Vision Pro jet, their newest model. and actually sit in the cockpit and man the controls and maneuver the plane. So,
Oh my God.
So there were
That
three.
seems highly dangerous. Just,
I was terrified. I'm not
throwing
gonna lie,
that
I
out
was
there.
scared.
I was like, you have a small child. Feels dangerous.
We do.
Oh, her
We
mom
do.
her mom was saying that the whole time, like, wait, but Violet.
Funny story. My mom actually asked if I had to do it, and I was like, "No, Mom, I get to do it. Like, I want to do it."
And I
So-
don't think the wonderful team at Xbox, shout out to Rubes, who's the best, would put you in harm's way, to be clear.
No, of course not. no.
Absolutely not. So number one, the Cirrus Vision, this was the SF50 G2 Plus, is known as the safest private jet on the market. Also, we had a very experienced pilot who's done more than like 4,000 hours of flight right next to us, manning the secondary controls. If anything goes wrong, if I pass completely out, he had us covered. So we were safe. We also
I
signed
would
lots
love
of
to know
waivers.
what that display. I was going to say that display. Oh my God, there's a video. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a video. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, please head over to What's Good Games on YouTube and check this out.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
let me
Andrea
see if I
is
can get
showing
you some
footage.
audio here.
I failed this part on the flight.
The audio is intense.
It's intense. So I'll narrate until you get that up. Right now, we are taxiing on the runway of a real life private airport, and I am in the cockpit. I am holding the throttle. I am helping to steer the plane, and we are getting ready to actually take off. So there were three people in addition to the pilot in the plane, myself, Danny, and our friend Sarah Daniels. I took off. Danny flew while we were in the air, and Sarah is an experienced pilot, and she landed the plane. But if you're watching the footage now,
Wait,
we're
hold on. Wait, can I just say, you did not
Yeah.
tell me that both of you were in the plane together at the same time.
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
all
The president and the vice president don't do that.
we did
We're
not
like,
have a
hey.
designated survivor. It was just, it was just
Here's the thing. Here's the
all
thing.
systems go.
I have to say something. I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
I was terrified. Terrified.
Those little planes are terrifying, and I'm not afraid of heights. Like, I've been skydiving, but those planes, like, yo, you
It's-
feel your mortality when you're in those planes.
But here's the thing, Sarah, she's an experienced pilot, and also the person that was helping us with everything. Typically, when people fly a plane, it's like the smaller ones, not a jet. So this is like a next level experience, So that's the part where we were like, oh my God, it's gonna be stronger, more powerful. It's not a small thing, So and also I asked, and Reed, you can continue after this, but I asked the pilot, I'm like, hey, how much is a plane like this? And he's like, $3.77 million.
Yep.
So I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? This is once in a lifetime opportunity.
Had
I'm
to do
gonna
it.
do this. I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Well, I mean, to be clear, if anyone is curious, most pilots do not own their own planes. Like they, you rent them and use them, and it's like a shared cost. That's like
Yeah.
I'm a rich movie star like Harrison Ford, and I can buy my own plane because I just want to pilot for funsies when I'm not making movies.
Yeah, we're,
anyway,
we're
okay,
definitely not going to have that life.
I do want to show you guys a little bit more of this video.
Yeah. So at this point in the video, we're on the runway. I've pushed the throttle. We're waiting for me to get up to 85 knots, as they say, or 85 miles per hour. And then once we hit that, I actually start pulling back on the joystick, and you can see the plane is leaving the ground. At 5 degrees elevation, I am taking off a jet. So
Well, and to be
It
clear,
was
not to be
crazy.
like, excuse me, Ree, but knots and miles per hour are not the same.
no.
I love the footage of Danny and Sarah's that her name clapping. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is
Yeah.
so
You
cute.
gotta hear the sound is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And I'll have this up, the full video on my channel as well, at the Riana MP. But yeah, we took off the plane. I had all the guidance I needed. Then I started to bank left, and we did a little turn. And he started giving me instructions on how to stabilize in the air. That's when the panic set in that I just took off in a jet. And you can kind of hear it in my voice when I'm talking. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get a little And he's like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna hit that AP button right there, and it's gonna go into autopilot.
Hell yeah.
So
Oh my
thankfully, we
God.
had some safety mechanisms and everything, but it was an unreal experience. And when I tell you, I had just spent like 2 hours before that, sometime in the career section of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which we'll talk about in a minute. I felt like I knew what I was doing, which
Oh,
was
no.
on another level. Like he said, "Oh, make sure you're watching your elevation. You're gonna hit this little, I forget the names of things, but I remember the throttle. You're
Yeah.
gonna pull the gear up and all of this stuff." I knew what he was talking about
Oh
because I
my
had just done it in
God.
the whole setup, and it was just so cool. So once again, thank you Xbox, thank you Microsoft Flight Sim team. That was the best Tuesday I'll ever have.
That is
Oh, look at you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I
fucking
know,
amazing.
I know there's pictures of the jet. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see it
Oh
or not.
yes, hold on.
Yeah, and also there's a video of us walking, and we were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're gonna fly this."
Well, because
And then,
all
Danny,
the way
you
up
flew
until the
it.
moment it happened, we weren't sure, like,
Yeah.
is this really happening?
Yeah, yeah. But here's
was
the
a
thing.
surprise.
I thought, yeah, it was a surprise. They did like a raffle. There was like, I think in our session, there was like
Oh
maybe
my
25
God.
people or so. Yeah, maybe like 6, maybe 9 of us out of the whole 25 people got to experience this. You know,
That is an
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, we get to do pretty cool things in this industry. Go to pretty neat places. I think of DC, right? When we all went to got to look at the Capitol for the Division, but fucking fly a plane. That's
Yeah.
on a whole nother level. That is, damn. How
this
cool.
was once in a lifetime opportunity. I just,
Yeah.
it was something that we're gonna be talking about this for years to come. So
Of course you are.
course.
Hell
That is really
yeah.
cool.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
and for it to be the first time either Danny or I had been to the Grand Canyon, like, what an introduction, right?
Oh
like,
wow.
you don't
Yeah,
get a
I've
view
never
like
gone
that.
actually. True story.
Oh
I
my God,
tried
it's
to
beautiful.
drive to the Grand Canyon once to the Western Rim. And pro tip, everybody, you can't drive to the Western Rim of the Grand Canyon because it's on protected Native American land. But I didn't know that because when I was trying to do this was before like Google Maps was a thing. And so on the map, I was with a friend of mine. I was like, look, I can see it on the map. There are these roads that go there on the map. And then after driving for like 45 minutes on a very dirt gravel road, I was like, we should probably turn around. I don't think we're supposed to be here.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah, good call.
no! Yeah, they gave a really amazing Hummer tour around the parts that you could visit via vehicle for our group, and we had Navajo tribe members escorting us and telling us about the history of the land and everything. Like there's this ponderosa pine tree that smells like butterscotch when you sniff it, and when it gets hit by lightning, it has enough sap and enough stickiness that it can actually heal itself and put itself back together. Like there's like these little
That's cool.
gems of like nature that you would never know if you were just driving past it. So that was an incredible introduction, and the reason I bring up that kind of detail is because the research that has gone into Flight Sim 2024 is on another level. They have put so much work into making these environments and what they call a digital twin of our globe. They're making it as realistic as possible. So some of the new activities that you can do in Flight Sim 2024 include a lot more like on the ground stuff. So if you're watching the B-roll here, you can see that there's banner flying, there's private jet flights you can do, there's crop dusting, but there's also this thing called photography mode where you can actually fly down to anywhere. They will have representative animal population and migration patterns so you can see when they're actually in season to be in that location.
Wow.
Get out of the plane, walk around in the forest or the field or wherever you are, and start to take photographs of the wildlife there. Like
my
they've made Earth in this sim, and it's so accurate, and it's using one of the most extensive data sets that have ever been in any piece of software, period, let alone a game. And it looks like it. It looks like Earth. It's
Wow.
mind blowing.
Question: Can you
yeah.
just fly forever? Is there like a no gasoline needed mode, or do you have to get gas? Is it like that realistic?
That's a good question. There might be. There's definitely lots of modes where you can just start in the air and you don't have to take off. So
Okay,
I'm sure you
thank
could put like sliders to the conditions where no refueling required and anything like that, and just kind of fly forever. And you could do a lap around the globe if you want. They have real-time weather in this game. In this sim. Once again, some things aren't possible. Like they can't predict when tornadoes are going to touch down. For instance, if they could, that'd solve a lot of problems. But they're
would.
pretty damn close. They actually had a team of people call around to every single oil rig in the world to figure out exactly where they are, so they could put helipads on them, and you can land your helicopter in every oil rig that exists in the real world. Like.
Yep.
like it's unreal how much work has gone into this. And we've talked to one of the head producers, Jorg, at the flight sim team, and he said they've shared this data with like the NSA and all kinds of people who are looking for these large data sets to solve real world problems and make real life predictions and things that they can do with, a facsimile of the Earth, running different scenarios for, survival plans and things like that in the form of natural disasters. So, like, this sim and this title are going to make the world a better place simply because it exists. And there's just not that many times when that happens with a video game. And it's just so impressive. And I mean, I can imagine where they're going next. I know they don't want to talk about it very publicly, but clearly, if you've gone through the Air and Space Museum stuff and you got all of the air stuff, what they're going to do next is probably going to be incredible as well. So I'm just really excited to get into this and play with it.
Are you hinting at Microsoft Space Simulator? Space Flight Simulator?
It is the final frontier, after all.
It is. And I feel
And
like
they've
they
already
have
created
a
Earth.
studio underneath Microsoft Gaming that maybe has already done a lot of space exploration. I wonder who that could be. Feel like
I know there are a lot of people talking about
that's in the
water cooler
Rolodex.
beings.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing, and I know it sounds very nerdy to say, "Oh my god, a simulator," but no, like truly, if you want to practice like how to do a crop dusting challenge where you take off, you're heavy as hell, you're trying to make perfect lines left and right, your plane's getting lighter, and you're trying not to like waste all of your product by going back over the place you've flown, and then you can finally land, and you don't even have to touch an airport. You're literally just trying to do this as if you were a farmer who actually exists out in the world and is really doing it right now. You can see how hard that job is. Like, you could do that. If you just want to photograph wildlife, you can do that. When you land in other countries, you're going to see people who look like they're from other countries. You're going to overhear chatter in their language and hear them talking about current events that are going on there. If you do a banner flyover, it's going to talk about, oh, party on the beach, at the beach you're flying over. It's like they just tried so hard. It's just so impressive. And I gotta say, I'm really excited to tool around in this because there's something for everyone. They really listened after 2020 to feedback of people who wanted to see more types of activities, more challenge, more gamification. Like, you don't have to learn all the bits and bobs about how to do real life aviation. You can come in here and just fuck around, challenge your friends to land at a really difficult airport or helipad or something, and just make it a fun thing. And I'm really excited that it exists.
It's such a smart play because that's how you get a broader audience interested in a project that clearly has a lot of love and a lot of science that has gone into it. And what a great teaching tool for educators to be able to use as well. But if you lock it to being so heavily into the simulation part and you lose the game, the video game component of it, then you inherently limit who is going to be able to enjoy this game. So I think it was a really smart decision for them to broaden that gamification aspect of it.
Yeah.
Question real quick. Is there multiplayer in any capacity in this game?
Yes.
Yes. So you can challenge friends to different activities. You can fly around with your friends, try not to hit each other. You could all do like the canyon run in a fighter jet if you wanted to like swerve around the Grand Canyon. Like, you can do all kinds of stuff with your friends.
Oh, so you can be in the same world with a friend. and just
Yeah. I
fly
mean,
around.
and here's the thing, a couple things that you forgot to mention, Reed, too, is like,
Yeah, there's a lot, sorry.
when you play the original 2020 version of this, the file size is just ridiculous. It's like 100 to like 200 gigs. This time around, they're actually using the cloud, so whatever you go in the game, you don't need to download anything. Like, it just goes directly from the cloud and it will pop up automatically, and you're good. So I think besides downloading 130 gigs, this one's going to be like maybe like what, 20, 30, maybe 50, something way smaller than.
Yeah, put those Azure
before.
farms to use, right?
Yep. And what I love about this too is, like, let's say we talked about the banner, right? Let's say banner advertising. Depending where you pick of like the location, let's say for me, I will go to like Miami, and I use the banner. It will go. The banner will turn into local. So whatever is whatever is like the business or like the name of the street, everything will be local depending of the location. Another thing that I did too in the original game, I flew in real time from Los Angeles all the way to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. and that was like a very long flight. But the cool thing is, when I was streaming, I was getting a lot of the viewers telling me, Danny, there's a big thunderstorm coming up ahead. Just be careful, and all this stuff. Or when like a landmark will pop up, everybody was like, what is that name? They will look it up on Google, and they'll tell me what it is. They'll send me like pictures. Like everything is just real. Everything. Now, there's gonna be some locations that the team couldn't get 100% of the data, so they have to depend on like the pictures and stuff that they get from Microsoft. But like, let's say you'll go to North Korea and you fly from there, right? It's not 100% accurate with it because there's a lot of stuff missing. But their goal is to get 100% data from across the globe. That's like their goal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Can you
they've actually started talking to people in Antarctica who are building a new airport there to figure out if they can get more real-time photos.
Yeah,
So they're really dedicated.
And just so I understand too, because I've never played before, can you land the plane anywhere and just get out and chill, or is
Anywhere.
it like
Anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere
If the
across
ground is
globe.
safe enough.
Yeah.
So
so
obviously
I can't
they've
land in the
done
middle of Tokyo? Probably wouldn't be smart.
well, you'd hit stuff. But if you found enough space and you're in the right vehicle, sure.
Put it this way, Brittany, you could fly where you live right now, and you'll see it in the game.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll see like the
That's
houses. the
slightly
area.
terrifying, though.
It is terrifying, but it is in there. I mean,
It's like that's very Big Brother of like, hey, we just use the satellite images that are publicly available. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but also this is real time weather. So let me take it back to 2020. I remember there was like hurricane category 5 going to South Florida, right? So what I did, I took a little small plane and I flew through the hurricane because I wanted to see
in
how
Microsoft
big-
Flight Simulator.
and Microsoft Flight Simulator, not in real life. So, but yeah, I got to see like the clouds. I went to the eye area to see how big it is, and I recorded it and posted the clip online. Like it went everywhere because people usually do that when there's a storm. They'll use this to see how big it is and just experience that too. And now,
Wow.
talking to the head of the team that worked on this game, he was telling us that the cloud and like it looks a lot better than before because before it was just plain white. This one has like a lot of color. You see like the dark areas of the cloud. It looks a lot better. Plus, adding tornadoes in this thing too.
Ooh, I would fly a plane through a tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how else are you going to
Seems
experience that?
hazardous.
It's no safer way to do it.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
Oh, one thing, Reed. Remember, you want to mention about the pilot shortage that we talked about with him?
Yeah, so something that's in this game and is really, really helpful, especially for newcomers, is they've added a career mode. So you can go into career mode, you create a character, and let me just take a second to talk about the character creator, because as I mentioned, if you land in a certain area, you'll see people who look like they're from that place in the world. You'll hear them talking about things that are happening locally in their language. And when you get to the character creator, it looks like real people. Like, no, it's not something where you can, make a nightmare monster by moving the big sliders like all the way to the left or to the right, making it a giant nose and tiny little eyeballs or anything like that. But they look like real humans, real human beings. And they have clothes that you think a pilot could wear. And it really sort of put me in the mindset of, okay, this is my little pilot girl. And she likes to wear her little leather jacket and her aviators. And she's going to learn how to become a helicopter pilot. And they take you step by step through, this is a plane. Here are all the things on the outside of the plane you have to check before you're allowed to get in and start to fly it. Here's all of the gears and all of the monitors that you have inside your cockpit. And it literally trains you step by step on what to see. So when I got to the real life Vision Jet, I knew what I was looking at. And it was just bizarre because I was only in there for like 2 hours, right? And they have in the game a way to train towards your pilot's license. And you can take that experience and go do it for real. Yes, it's a little bit different in real life. It costs money, spend time, and all of that. But what I love about the Flight Simulator team is they, for many years, have been looking to address the worldwide pilot shortage that we're facing, where, there are not enough pilots to man all of the flights that we want to take as, a species right now. And that means that all pilots have been overworked and they're very tired. There's lots more mistakes. Even air traffic people, air traffic controller workers are really stretched. And we've seen what that does to people in our industry when they're overworked and understaffed. Well, imagine what it is if it's an airplane. So I love that they're putting this career mode front and center in Flight Simulator 2024 because they're trying to get people curious about the world enough that they go try this, and maybe it ends up giving people another career path that they want to consider. So it's really a beautiful thing. And like I said, I'm just glad this exists.
Video games, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, the amount of people that play this, I think this is like the most. Is it the most engaging one, Ree? I can't remember, but it's a lot of people that play this. It's like millions and millions of people. That plays it. Yeah.
I hope there's more. I hope everybody gives it a shot.
I
It's gonna be in
definitely
Game
had
Pass.
not even put it on my list to check out before this preview. So, congratulations. You got me interested in checking out Microsoft Flight
Same.
Simulator. I think the gamification parts are exciting to me. In any simulator, whether it's racing or flight or any kind of vehicle in particular, because obviously the life sims, you guys know I'm very happy to play those whenever I want. I just always get so bogged down in the mechanics of learning how to do it for real versus like the arcade style that it makes me lose interest really quickly because I play games for escapism and fantasy. And I love that there is a simulator category for the people who want that, but that person is not really me, Andrea Renee. And so I'm like, but I like the idea of being able to see places and do stuff with friends and check out different types of vehicles and things like that. So it looks, it also just looks beautiful, right?
It does.
So, well, thank you again to Xbox for what sounds like an incredible experience. So,
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we should all fly a jet next time.
Yeah, everybody fly a jet.
Don't judge.
And
I thought
Flight
you were talking about
Simulator.
in-game.
maybe not everybody flies a jet,
I don't
right?
know if I could have. I don't know if I could have done that. I think I would have because I think I would have had the same mindset you had, Danny and Ree. Like once in a lifetime. When am I ever gonna get the chance to do this again? But man, I would have been shitting myself the whole way up to that plane.
See, Ree didn't mention this, but there was crazy turbulence.
There was a lot of turbulence. It was really hot, and over the canyon, there's lots of pockets of air updraft that just kind of, they bounce you.
That's when the moment I was like, let me pause. Should I do this? Or what?
But you were already in the air, though, weren't you?
Yeah, but I went to the front and also flew the plane. So I was like, should I just stay in the back or go to the front? And I did it.
Good for you.
Kiss your ass goodbye. Wow. Well, that is a hell of a story and probably one of the coolest previews we've had on this show in all 7 years. So, what a way to kind of wind that down. But Andrea, do you want to talk about your little Astro Bot adventures?
I mean, we already talked a lot about Astro Bot, so I don't need to go into it too much. Just that it is as perfect as everybody has said it is. And if you own a PlayStation 5, there's zero reason why you should not go out and buy this game immediately. It is excellent for people of all ages. And I was hoping my daughter was going to want to do more of it with me, but I don't know if she got bored or got distracted by something else. She is 3, so not really quite in her video game playing prime yet. But I have had a couple late nights that I just couldn't put it down. It's got such a nice balance of wanting to go and collect everything without it feeling overwhelming. And I have no shame in going back and buying the little guide birdie. They have a guide that once you've completed a level, you can revisit that level and then buy a companion that will show you where the bots are that you missed. And if you don't want that, you don't have to buy it. You can just go find them all on your own. But I'm like, I've been through this level and it was hard the first time. I'd rather not. Birdie, help me out. And it's been great. And you weren't kidding about those challenge levels. Oh boy.
No joke.
Oh, yeah.
No joke.
There was one I think I did maybe 50 times.
Wow.
Oh my
good for you,
God.
though.
There was one that I was there for 40 minutes that I just couldn't.
I kept doing it because I was like, now I must defeat this challenge level. And for some context, the challenge levels have like very specific things. So you're not necessarily collecting, bots or finding puzzle pieces. There's a specific mechanic that's being tested in the challenge level that you have to master. And a lot of it is just about memorization, timing, crossed with input, like how you're hitting the buttons and when you're hitting the buttons. It's very old school platformer in that regard. And it definitely opened up some muscle memory that I haven't flexed in quite some time. And I was like, I could do this. I could do this. And I did it.
And
know,
it's
just
so
take some time.
addictive. I remember at Summer Game Fest because even if you fall off and die, you instantly spawn back. So it's
And
like
I
you just
love
get to-
that.
Yes. Oh, it's the
I
freaking
love
best.
that the checkpoints aren't punishing, but they're challenging. Particularly in the challenge levels, they're almost like a one hit, like you have to start all the way from the beginning again. But I didn't care because again, like you could skip that level. It's not necessary to the main progression. Like you can do it or not, they're optional. And I just like that it's just so like tight is such a perfect word because the design of the gameplay coupled with the traversal and the movement, and then it's just so cute too. Everything's just so cute. And the little guys are flossing at the end on the controller.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's just such a wonderful, wonderful game, and I think everybody should play it. If you own a PlayStation, buy it. Don't hesitate. Just do it.
You got it. You heard it from one Andrea Renee telling you to spend your hard-earned money
Yes.
on something totally worth it.
I do need to
Absolutely
then
worth it.
disclaim that PlayStation gave me a code
Oh.
for this game, so
Oh yeah.
do with that information what you will. But it's been a long time since I've seen a game this perfect.
Agreed.
I'm not going to talk about it too much, but before we wrap up our last regular episode, I have to mention, because I know there's some of you out there who's going to get very turned on by this, I finally started Trails in the Sky on my Steam Deck.
Ooh,
did
I
it,
saw you
friends.
tweet about this.
I did it, and I said at least a dozen of you are going to be happy. Turns out hundreds of you are happy. So that's wonderful. I'm very excited to start this journey. Well, friends, I guess that is it for episode 384 of What's Good Games, aka our last normal episode. Don't forget, next Tuesday, September 24th, from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific, we will all be in studio. And I believe we have permission to say who our little special guest is going to be, don't we?
Yes, for the end of the episode, homies, even though we are going to put this on social media eventually. Alexa Ray Correa is flying down to join us in person. We haven't recorded with her in person. I mean, I saw her at GDC, but Britt, you haven't recorded with Alexa
Since she left?
since she left the show,
Yes.
which
I'm
is
so
wild.
excited. It's
Wow.
I want to find Lord of the Rings wine. I want to drink it. I want to talk about Forest Floor.
I have some.
Do you?
I sure do.
Oh, that makes me so
I sure
happy.
do.
I was gonna add it to my to-do discussion list with you because like I would love to fucking get some. Okay, it's gonna be phenomenal. There's gonna be so many antics and shenanigans that go down. It's gonna be reflective. It's gonna be moving, emotional, and it's gonna be a good time with good vibes. So we hope you can join us again 4 to 7 p.m. next Tuesday, September 24th. Twitch.tv/What'sGoodGames, YouTube.com/What'sGoodGames. Be there, or like I said earlier, be a dumb square.
Ooh.
Ooh,
That's right. She got
right.
angry about it.
I got it a little angry.
Just
I'm a little
come.
feisty. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Danny,
See you
wait
there.
before you go. Danny, thank you so much for joining us on our last regular episode.
Danny, you're
Am I
so
here?
quiet. I
Am
forgot
I
you
here?
exist.
I'm
Wait,
here.
where
I'm
have you
chilling.
been? You've just been kind of lurking in the bottom right.
No, we
I'm
were
just
all
listening.
listening to Rihanna talk about Flight Simulator.
That's true. I talked here and there, but thank
Okay,
you
Danny,
so much.
Promote yourself, pimp
inviting.
yourself.
Well, I just want to say thank you for inviting me multiple times here. It's been an honor having being part of the show throughout the years, and I can't wait to see what's next for all of y'all. I think, like I said earlier, if it wasn't for What's Good, I would have never met Ree. So thank you for that opportunity, and thank you for everything. Thank you for the support. I'm really proud of you girls, all of y'all.
Thank
You girls did a great job. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome for changing your life forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Violet grows up to become a celebrity and she makes cajillions of dollars, just remember.
Don't
Oh,
forget
there you
about
go.
Auntie.
Don't forget
Auntie
it.
Andrea and Auntie Britt. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For real this time, we're signing off and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.